Hey, this is Dave. I thought I'd give a little different backdrop than my normal office videos. So it's a beautiful day to be outside. So this video is really talking about some of my friends who are struggling with listings that just don't seem to be moving. So I thought I'd talk about a couple things that I have seen work in the past. Now keep in mind, this is about starting a conversation about creativity. You know, growing up in the real estate industry, you know, there's a lot of stuff that we were able to do in the 80s and 90s and even into the 2000s we just can't do now. But there are still a lot of tools in the toolbox that we can use to help. Before you have your seller drop their sales price, let's talk about some options. So some options might be a seller concession to closing costs. Now keep in mind, closing costs are huge when it comes cash out of pocket. So a lot of our buyers right now are struggling, let alone with down payment, but cash out of pocket when it comes to closing costs, which becomes that other big number out there. So if your seller's willing to, let's do a seller concession, put it in the listing. Don't make it a question mark. Again, this is before you're dropping the price. These are tools to keep the price up, but maybe drive more traffic, cash being king. So if the seller's willing to give up a few points, and keep in mind, if they're willing to drop their purchase price or their sales price by 25 grand, well, let's see if we can do something different with that 25,000. We can give that in a seller credit to the buyer. Now, different programs have different abilities with what they can take in from the seller, like, you know, from anywhere from 3% to 6% a seller concession. Well, if I've got a seller who's willing to work with my buyer, you know, let's take that seller concession and maybe we just buy down the rate permanently, which now helps. It helps the buyer qualify. It makes a lower payment. And it's not going to kill your seller versus dropping that purchase price. The other thing we can do is, like on a VA loan, we can actually use seller concession to pay off some of the vet's debt, which again makes it easier for the buyer to qualify. Another tool in the toolbox. So those are just a couple things that we can talk about. Now again, things have gotten really restrictive with seller concession, and as an agent, you can also help towards closing costs as well. But we never want to take any money out of the commission side. But that being said, we can look at these different numbers and see what's the best way to kind of drive some traffic. And again, being explicit in the listing to say you're willing to cover closing costs, or you're willing to do a buy down. And we can do a temporary buy down. We could do a 2-1 or a 1-1 buy down. I can talk to you about that. I did a video not that long ago on the 1-1, but that's an option. Here's another thing that you could look at. You know, maybe the unit you're trying to sell has a little bit of an ugly factor. Maybe it needs a roof, a full-on roof. Maybe it just needs carpet. Maybe it needs some hardwood. Maybe there's some things that need to be done inside to make it more attractive. Put it in the listing that if you get an agreed upon purchase and sale agreement, the seller will take care of those things, and then find that contractor who's willing to get paid out of escrow. Now you don't have to do a rehab loan. You don't have to do any of the funky niche stuff. You can just literally get it done out of escrow. The contractor gets paid, and you got a deal put together. The other thing, and again, I don't want to take any money out of your pocket, but one of the things I haven't seen a lot of lately is changing the splits. And it was real popular back when you weren't getting a lot of movement on your listing. Listing agent would change the splits and maybe go 2.5, 3.5, boosting up the sales side commission, maybe driving just a little more traffic. Now keep in mind, I haven't always been a lender, but I have pretty much my whole lifetime been an investor and been in and around real estate. So I may have a lot of ideas that, you know, once we start brainstorming, we can talk about. But I just wanted to throw this out. I know it's a little long, a lot longer than my normal, but I wanted to get some thoughts out to you. I thought they're, you know, top of mind right now for what we're all going through in this market. So give me a call, we can talk about it. I also started a series that I'm doing. It's Monopoly in Real Life. If you want to go look it up, it's on my Facebook page, it's on LinkedIn, but hashtag Monopoly in Real Life. So see you around, call me, let's talk, even if it's just a BS and commiserate. Talk to you soon, bye.